Hey yo, what is poppin', my fellow shizzlers? It's your boy Fizz, and I am bringing you guys today the UPA Week 9 battle going up against Rabz and the Chicago Granbulls. Now, we are sitting at 5-3 right now. Really good record. Well, not really good, just a really solid record right now. And Rabz over here, this young man is 7-1 in UPA D-League. He's kind of tossing everybody, but hopefully I can give him his second loss of the season. Now, this is a very, very important game because if I win this game right here, I'm in a very solid state. Solid state. That's a hard drive. Oh my god, can't believe I just said that. But I'm in a really solid position to win my division and get a clinch in playoffs, or a clinch playoffs position. So yeah, I really want to win this game so I don't have to rely on Zern, Clyde, and Elliott losing games for me to make playoffs. I just want to be guaranteed to make playoffs. But if I win this game, it doesn't mean I am guaranteed. It's gonna rely on my last two, and next week I play Sean. But yeah, I just really need to win this game so I can be clinched because it's kind of a tight race at this point. Elliott and Clyde and Zern are pretty much on my tail, so definitely need to be careful about that. And I just need to play my best basketball here. So yeah, man, jumping right into Rabz's team. He has a Mega Lopunny, Thunderous, Incarnate, Hydreigon, Starmie, Klefki, Amoonguss, Kofag, Rhyperior, Mesprit, Mimikyu, and a Ditto. So he has a very, very threatening team. You can see why he's 7-1. Thunderous Eye is, oh my gosh, Thunderous Eye. It's my least favorite thing to prep for. I talked about it a bit in my OLT draft analysis. Like, I hate Thunderous T, man. It's such a good amount. It's so versatile, and with Prankster, it's just so aids to prep against. And Lopunny is just something that's just in general really hard to check in the first place. So yeah, it's just going to be a really tough matchup. The rest of his team, I'm not really that worried about. Mimikyu is really, really good against me, or at least against the team that I am bringing. It's really good. So yeah, the first two is just going to be really hard to prep for in addition to the Mimikyu. It's just going to be a tough way for me to beat his team. But one good thing that I did notice is that his Zard switchins is limited to Rhyperior, but that gets chipped really quickly. I can run, well, you can see that what I'm going to be running on Zardex to kind of go around Rhyperior. So, yeah, I think Zard is in a really good position to win the game. And same thing with Swallow. It's going to be a really good mon here. It can chip Rhyperior for Charizard as well. Klefki is going to be really taking a Boom Burst very well. So, yeah, in general, Swallow and Zard look really good here. And, yeah, that's enough about his team. I'm going to jump right into mine. First off, I needed a Mega Lopunny switch him, so I went with Necrozma. A lot of Fizz Def with Photon Geyser, Knock, Toxic, and Moonlight. This is just really fat, classic Lopunny check. There's nothing he can really do to like play around this other than like run Toxic sub, stuff like that. But I do have Heal Bell. Well, I don't have Heal Bell on my Comfy. So yeah, if he's running like Toxic sub Lopunny, then that's fine with me because Necrozma already did its job, you know. That's not a set I'm worried about, so I don't care if he runs Subtoxic. That's going to be good for me if he does run it instead of something that's way more threatening against me. So I'm not too worried if he runs like that kind of set against my Necrozma because that means it already did its job and it's more expendable as a mon at that point. And yeah, knocking off items is going to be really good. Knocking off lefties and like Light Clay on Klefki, just going to be really good for my Pokemon in general. And Toxic Moonlight didn't really need another move, so I just put Toxic on there just in case, and Moonlight just for in general recovery, and yeah, just really Fizz Def for the Lopunny in general, and yeah, I can take a couple of Rhyperior hits as well, which I do expect to come. So yeah, really good stuff there. Next up, I have Tone, my Seismitoad, with the Rindo Berry, Stealth Rock, Scald, Rock Tomb, and Toxic. Now, I'm not bringing Earthquake, so I am kind of hard-walled by the Klefki, but I don't really. Well, in hindsight, I probably should have packed Earthquake or something, but I don't really see it as a threat. And in my opinion, I just need it chipped. So if I can just burn it with Scald or something, get it chipped to the point where I can kill it with Swallow, that's fine by me. That's what this thing is here for. And I also have Rock Tomb on there because this thing doesn't get Ice Beam. Just because I can force some switches around and I can Rock Tomb things, lower speeds, and yeah, in general, Rock Tomb is a really good move. And I have Toxic on here, so I can hit the Mimikyu decently hard. And this is really interesting because, one, it gives me an electric immunity for Thundy. I know it can run Grass Knot, that's why I have Rindo Berry. And I can also serve as a late game Mimikyu check, question mark. I can take a couple of Mimikyu hits because it's not very strong in general. And I can Toxicate, I can burn it with Scald, stuff like that. And it's also here just to get up rocks because I really need chip against this team. Swallow kind of two-shots everything after rocks, so I really need that. And after some chip, Mimikyu dies. Like after rocks, it dies to a boom burst. So yeah, rocks are going to be really, really necessary for me, and I think getting those up immediately is going to be really good play for me. So yeah, in general, this Seismitoad is pretty straightforward. Nothing really more to be said. Also consider as a Rhyperior check if I need one. And next up, I have a Specs Comfy. Now, this is a very, very interesting set here. I'm Choice Specs, Draining Kiss, HP Fire, U-Turn, Defog. Now, he has two complete, like, hard walls to Choice Specs Comfy, right? He has Klefki and Amoonguss, but if he only brings one, I'm free to, like, click Draining Kiss, get Klefki whittled down, and I can Draining Kiss that to Oblivion. I do expect Klefki to come. I don't know about Amoonguss, but either way, I can U-turn on their Poison Resist and then go into Zardex to kill something. Because like I said before, his only Charizard switching is a Rhyperior, but I do have ways to play around that. So if I can U-turn out on the Klefki and the Amoonguss and pivot into Charizard X, I can pressure his team, and it's just going to be really good. Those two mons right there are going to be putting in tremendous amounts of work, and this also doubles as a really solid Hydreigon switch-in. And yeah, it's going to be really good to be able to switch into most Hydreigon hits, like Iron. I don't know if it gets Iron Head, but like it can switch into Flash Cannon decently well. Don't know if I'll run it because I just Draining Kiss all my health back anyway. But HP Fire is also there just to hit those things in case I do need it. Defog. I need a Defog just because I didn't want Toxic Spikes on my side on Kofag. That's just going to be really annoying for me. So I want to get rid of all those hazards. Same thing with Klefki's dual screen shenanigans. I really wanted to get rid of those. So I took Roman Therapy off for Defog just because I felt like it was going to be very necessary for me not to get chipped. So yeah. A lot of Spadef, but max special attack minus is going to be really good here. And it's, again, I don't know if I mentioned it, but this thing is a really, really good late game cleaner. Like you can see on your screen, Lopunny, Thundy, Hydra, Starmie, Kofag, all those mons don't really want to take like Specs Draining Kisses. Like Lopunny obviously dies. A lot of things actually die. So in general, this thing can late game sweep, which is really, really nice. Next up, I have my Charizard X, which breaks through his team incredibly well. I have dual stab, Roost, HP Grass. Now, I have HP Grass just because it does like 75 to Rhyperior, which is really nice. So, after Rocks, if it switches into a Dragon Claw, it actually dies to an HP Grass. If I do expect it to be max HP, max Fizdef, which I don't really think there's another set for him to run unless he wants to lose his Ardex. So, I'm running HP Grass so that it can die to Dragon Claw after Rocks and then kill with an HP Grass. So it's basically max HP, it kills that Rhyperior, and once Rhyperior is gone, he has no Zardex switch-ins. Do expect Thunder Wave on either Thundy or Klefki for sure, just so he doesn't like get swept by this thing, but he also has a Kofag, so I don't really think that, I don't know why I mentioned that, but yeah, I like 3 attacks Roost more just because it does most damage to his team, and I don't really need setup to hit hard in general, because again, Rhyperior, I have ways to play around that. And in general, it can take a Mimikyu hit. I think it can take like a Z move from Mimikyu at neutral. So really good stuff there. In general, breaks really well with Comfy, and it's a really nice breaker for his team. And works well with Comfy, like I said before. So yeah, in general, straightforward set. Don't really need much explanation. Next up, I have 3 attacks: Roost, Life Orb, Coco, T-Bolt, D-Gleam, Grass on Roost. I originally had Volt Switch just because I felt like Volt Switching on the Amoonguss was really good for me. But really, really wanted that T-Bolt extra power. Like if he goes Amoonguss, I can just go into something else. He can't Spore me because of my terrains, which is really, really good on the switch out. And in general, Amoonguss I don't think has the best matchup at all. Like I don't know if he'll bring it at all. Doesn't have a really good matchup. So yeah, in general, if Amoonguss doesn't come, this set looks super, super clean against him. Dual Stab, rip apart his team, and a Grass Knot lets me kill Rhyperior in like obliterate that thing, so that's really good. Don't really think he'll run Spadef because he needs all of his def he can get for the Zard. So yeah, 3 attacks Roost is going to be really good for me, and I can run a lot of fat. I don't really know what the fat is for, but 20 Spadef is for something, probably like the Thundy, I don't remember. But it's nice to have extra fat there, you know, especially on a life orb mod. And I made myself a life orb number and put the rest in Spadef. Maybe that's it. But yeah, in general, this Coco set looks really good here, and I think we'll put in work. Next up, I have Specs Swallow. So I brought a lot of offense just because he has a lot of offense with Lopunny, Thundy, Hydreigons, and I don't really have switch-ins to all of those, especially like the Thundy. I don't really have anything for that. So I just need to out-offense him and break down his walls. Like Amoonguss and Klefki and Rhyperior, all those aren't like really good walls against my team. So I just need to break those down and out-offense him, like I said before. So Swallow just does just that. It can really win late game. The only thing that outspeeds me with Lopunny, but I have really good check in Necrozma. So yeah, I'm not too worried about that. And yeah, Swallow just wins, to be honest. Like a couple of boomers I can break apart his team for comfy late game. That is doing its job because his switch-in is going to be Rhyperior and Klefki. Well, those are the only switch-ins that resist my Boom Burst. So if I can chip those down and get them in range of like a comfy hit, that's just going to be good for me. And yeah, in general, I'm just going to be spamming Boom Burst against his team. Heat Wave for the Amoonguss and Klefki, HP Grass in case I need it against Rhyperior. U-turn, don't really know why I need it. I'm just going to Boom Burst everything. Don't really need U-turn. Probably should have put like Defog or something. But in general, Swallow puts in tremendous amounts of work. And yeah, in general, I really like my team. I think it's really good. And I think my offense out-offenses him. That wasn't a sentence, but you know what I mean. So yeah, man, hopefully I can put in a really good show and try to get a dub here. A lot of things are really scary on his team, but hopefully I can pick it up. And I'm going to jump right into the battle. And we are back with the battle against Rabz here. Good luck, have fun. And he brings the Rhyperior, Kofag, Mimikyu, Klefki, Mega Lopunny, and the Ditto. So no Thundy. I don't know what the thought process was behind that. Especially to take advantage of my terrain. I felt like Thundy was really, really good against me. General Thundy is just so good. I don't really have checks to that thing. My best check was like a 7, so that gets grass knotted, stuff like that. So yeah, just really surprised at no Thundy, but Mimikyu is very, very scary late game. I really need to break that thing sub ASAP and get up rocks, put in range of a Swallow hit. And yeah, I don't know what the reason was behind the Ditto pick. I felt like Amoonguss or again Thundy was just a better pick. I felt like Ditto could have been good for like sweeping Zardex. I don't know, but I guess it is good in that, but replacing that for over Thundy and stuff like that, I'm not really sure about that, but in general, I really like my team, and yeah, really glad I put HP Grass on Charizard last second. That was like a last second bring. I almost put Quick Attack just because it looked really solid and on paper, but HP Grass was definitely the play. Good job on that, but yeah, I'm just gonna jump right into the battle, and I decided to lead off with the Seismitoad, just get up rocks immediately. I don't want to be toxic on my Toad, but I'm just going to get up my rocks either way. I don't care if he gets up his own. He goes into Lopunny, gets me chip on that, and I go into my Coco here as he makes a nice Lopunny switch, but I'm just free to go into my Necrozma, and I get to see what kind of set he is, if he's like toxic, adamant, everything like that. But that frustration does nothing. I get my lefties back. Fine by me, but right now I'm just going to go for my Moonlight here. I want to be a really good switch into that Lopunny late game, but he goes into the Klefki as he reveals the Calm Mind. So immediately I don't see lefties. I know I skipped ahead, but I don't see lefties, so I'm assuming he's a berry with like a recycle set. So that's actually pretty scary against me because I don't have Heat Wave or anything to hit the Klefki on my Necrozma. Maybe that was a better bring than Toxic. Not really sure, but hindsight, one of those moves was better late game, but he doesn't bring dual screens, which is really good for me because it looked AIDS, because I felt like Trick Room was definitely a possibility, like Kofag plus Rhyperior. I have a really fast team in general, but yeah, I don't know. I felt like dual screens was definitely not going to be the play at this point if he has Calm Mind, but yeah, he's just going to go into Rhyperior as I go for my Dragon Claw, or I go for my Flare Blitz either way, and this actually puts him in a range where HP Grass kills, but he is Rindo Berry. And he killed him with Earthquake. So the thought process was sacking Zard was like, what's it called? I don't want him to rock polish up, if that makes any sense. He could have been like Pasho, but I don't want him to rock polish up and win the game. Didn't really have any switch-ins to this thing in the first place. Maybe like, I don't know, Necrozma can heal up next turn. But in general, I was just really worried about like a rock polish set at this point in the game. Now that I know he's playing not Trick Room on Kofax instead, since he doesn't have dual screens on Klefki. But that was a big misplay because Necrozma could have taken any hit and fired back a big hit. Same thing with Saboteur. It could have taken anything since I preserved the health on it and scalded back. So sacking Zard was not a good play there, especially when it broke his team insanely well. Just break his team in general. So sacking Zard was not a good play. I think that's just in general a problem that I have. I envision scenarios where they're not really viable, and I kind of overreact to them. This is definitely one of those times where I predicted like rock polish Rhyperior, but my team handled that at this point, so I don't know why I sacked Zard, but I did. Nothing I can do about it. I just have to learn from it. But I go into Coco. Obviously, it's going to be Grass Knot. But he decides to save the Rhyperior for some reason. Not really sure why. He goes into the low bunny, makes a really nice double there. I don't go for the D-Gleam, which I could have, but Grass Knot was pretty safe for me. He goes into the low bunny, goes for another Frustration, which does nothing. I'm just going to heal up again, I believe, because I don't really care if he goes into Kofag. Or I go for the Photon Geyser here, because I chip something really low as he switches in his Kofag right now. And I get to two-shot that thing with Photon Geyser as he goes into the Klefki. Really wish I brought Heat Wave or something at this point, which is, I should have had Heat Wave on this thing. Would have been really nice. Knocking off what was also a play I considered, knocking off his, his Eye Papa Berry, which would have been a probable set. I don't see lefties. I don't see anything like that. I don't think he's Light Clay if he has Calm Mind. So, like a recycle set was something I was definitely worried about. So, I accidentally misclick and go into Swallow, which is not the worst thing in the world, because I go for my Heat Wave right here and kill it. So, it's really good for me. So glad he sacked the Klefki, because now Comfy looks to be in a primal winning position right now that his thing is sacked. Go into my Sagmatoad to kind of sack it off. I go for my Scald here. I just need a chip on the Swallow so I can put it in range of a Comfy. So, that's all really good for me. So, this means that Rhyperior, Kofag, Ditto are all around like 40%. Low Bunny is at full-ish. Mimikyu is at full. So these are all really good bonds to be foddered to my Comfy. So once I break that Mimikyu's Sash, or Disguise rather, Comfy looks to be a really good win con right now. So he goes into the Ditto. I think he's Scarfed, and he goes for that. I just go into my Comfy and go for the Draining Kiss, pick up my kill. If he goes into Mimikyu, I break its Disguise, and that's perfectly fine by me. Now, this was really bad, because I was thinking he was Z. That's what most Mimikyus are if you're going to be learning it, like Life Orb or Z, but Z was a really good bring against me, I guess. Well, in general, it's a pretty good bring. But I was calculating Necrozma damage on, like, Z player off, and I was like, wow, it only does 50. Accidentally thinking it was Comfy. So I Drain and Kiss here, knowing that he can't kill me in any way, shape, or form. But, yeah, I should have went Necrozma because, like, I don't need it to check the Low Bunny anymore since Low Bunny dies to a Draining Kiss and Swallow in general. Swallow plus Comfy wins. I should have sacked off Necrozma 100%, but I was looking at the calc and I was like, wow, it only does 50%. Man, Mimikyu is bad. So, yeah, go for the Draining Kiss here, breaking its Disguise. And he goes for the Z and actually kills me, which was insane to me at the time. I was like, oh my lord, how did that kill? I was calculating Necrozma damage for whatever reason. That was just a really bad thing that I did. Go into my Coco for no reason. Should have gone Swallow because this thing isn't in range of a Swallow hit. But, you know what, it's fine. I go into my Coco, he sacks off his Kofag, and I'm Life Orb, take my chip. He goes into Low Bunny. At this point, I can sack off, or I can't sack off anything. I pretty much lost to this Low Bunny in general. Low Bunny plus Mimikyu kind of beat me. It was a really slim chance for me to win, but I outspeed him. Don't ask me why. He said he was creeping me, like creeping. I don't really know what his thought process was. If I was creeping, so what I crept on my Coco was Adamant Low Bunny, and he thought I would be speed creeping something else. I don't really know what the thought process was behind that, but I think he should have just like outsped Coco outright, like max. But hey, I don't know what his speed creep was in general, but it works out for me because he ended up being adamant and slower than my Coco, which is really good. So now I just win the game of Swallow, which is real nice. This Coco's burned, so it's on a timer. I sack off my Coco. go into my Necrozma. I can take any hit and kill it as long as I don't get a para or crit. And that's exactly what's going to happen. No para. I go for my Photon Geyser, and I win the game with solo right now. Mimikyu definitely dies to a Boom Burst after another round of rocks. It does like 80 minimum. So yeah, he kills my Necrozma, and I go into my Swallow to seal the deal. And that's really good for me. Mimikyu goes down, and I win against Rabz. So don't really know what his thought process was behind the Lop speed creep. That definitely won me the game. I didn't play well at all. My biggest mistake was definitely like calking Necrozma when my Comfy was out, because yeah, I would have kept my Comfy 100% there. I sacked Necrozma there. Don't need it anymore. When Lopunny has taken its chip, I can kill it with Comfy. Don't really need Necrozma at that point. But yeah, just a really weird game. That calking turn right there was really bad for me. Lost my Comfy and my good win con right there. And yeah, that lop speed was really weird. But that won me the game, so I'm taking it. And we advance to 6-3 right now. GG's to Rabz. He's now 7-2, pick up his second loss of the season. So we're 6-3 right now, and I'm really solid. I'm in a really solid spot in the division right now. If I win next game against Sean, I clinch the division and I'm in playoffs, guaranteed. But if I lose, then Zern, Elliott, Cleve, depending on the scenario, they have a chance to make playoffs over me. So really don't want that at all. So yeah, I just really need to win next game, which is going to be big against Sean. And yeah, again, GG's to Rabz. We are now 6-3. It's going to be such a big game next week, but you know what? We can do it, and let's clinch that playoff spot, man. And just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. It means the world to me, and like always, have a swell day. Peace.